Life is an everlasting battle for survival. You devise various techniques, come up with new tricks, just to live until tomorrow. And tomorrow, the same struggle repeats over and over and over again. The only light in the end of a tunnel you can hope to see is the light of a different explosion on another battlefield. In the rare moments of relative calmness, ninjas talk about honor, love, the value of life. But what do we know about life if we spend their lives just surviving? How can we bring peace if war is everything we do? Maybe the only way to truly win this battle is to abandon the battlefield? Hello, I'm Lisa, and in this video I want to talk about one of the alternative scenarios for Naruto. This one has been living in my head rent-free for months. This one is about Sasuke leaving the village, not to find Orochimaru, but to find himself. I believe that for Sasuke to heal, he needed to leave Konoha, as the moral foundations of a village are pretty superficial. In the end, all ninjas just struggle for greater power to increase their chances of survival. In such toxic atmosphere, sooner or later Sasuke would go to the extreme to gain more power. I want to consider a situation where Sasuke actually gets to see the world outside of the battlefield and grows to appreciate it. Thus, he stops blaming himself for his weakness and subsequently becomes stronger because of that. I imagine that to make such a decision, Sasuke would need some sort of push. For example, Tsunade, while healing him, could tell Sasuke that if he really wants to leave the village, he can, but he should not go down Orochimaru's path, as there is nothing but despair and a web of lies down that path. That would make sense, since Tsunade herself did not live in the village for a long time, and she also refused Orochimaru's deal. Kakashi too could tell Sasuke that it makes no sense for him to go to Orochimaru, as Orochimaru cannot give Sasuke what he wants, because Sasuke doesn't know what he wants. He only knows what he doesn't want and what his brother wanted, but he needs to find his own path. So in this video, I will imagine that something like that happened, but Sasuke got his push, and after taking the pills to evolve his curse mark to the second level, he actually decides to run away from everyone and find his own way. Sasuke decides to leave everything behind and find out who he truly is, outside of his clan, his brother, his village, and his power.
Just how stupid could I be? How could I ever trust Orochimaru? Why would I go through all this torment, put my friends' lives on the line for something so superficial, something which only imitates true power? It was not worth it. Sasuke realized it right when the second level of the curse mark was activated. He got power, yes, but it was not his power. It was an alien force hidden inside of his own body, eating him alive, reviving the worst memories and never giving any consolation. It wouldn't be his achievement if he won over Itachi with that power. And is victory even worth it if it requires losing yourself in the sleazy, deceitful power of a snake man? Sasuke didn't know the answer, yet he knew for sure that neither Orochimaru nor any of the Konoha ninjas could give him an honest opinion. They all had their stakes in his decisions, their own lives and interests. And what did Sasuke have? What did he want to do with his life? To figure it out, he needed to get away from all of them. After taking the pills and spending hours in a feverish, petrifying dream, Sasuke saw his whole life as an everlasting nightmare, the one he himself perpetuated, by choosing to follow someone else's words every day, putting his life on the line through a promise of power which he never seemed to achieve. Sasuke didn't yet know whether there was a place in the world where he could just be himself, just Sasuke, not Uchiha Sasuke. Yet, after seeing his life for a nightmare that it was, he was determined to wake up. So, Sasuke ran, away from the Silent Four, away from Naruto and his squad, away from Orochimaru's hideout. The curse mark cried out the power he got from Orochimaru, yet the pain only pushed him to run faster, to leave everything he knew and hated behind. As he left the land of fire, he saw the foggy mountains, which seemed ephemeral in the last rays of the setting sun. He suddenly remembered how he always dreamed of living in the mountains when he was young. How he wanted to explore them with his brother and his whole family, how he dreamed of waking up with the whole world before his eyes and falling asleep tucked in by the fresh mountain air. If a mark was to kill him when he gets too far away, mountains were a place where he wanted to die. The higher he got, the harder it became to walk. The first mark felt like a torch burning right through his shoulder, making him bend down and lose his breath every couple of minutes. He lost his pace, resorting to a series of short laps interrupted with painful groans from his wore-out lungs. Soon he started crawling. He saw the dim lights somewhere above him, yet he couldn't care anymore, closing his eyes, simply hoping that pain would disappear. Nothing. There was nothing. No nightmares, no blood, no voices inside of his head tearing him apart. Sasuke was more surprised than relieved. Is this how death feels like? Suddenly, he felt the weight of a heavy, yet soft blanket on his shoulders, stomach, legs. He could smell dried lavender and chamomile tea, hear muffled, exasperated voices seemingly coming from a different room. Sasuke opened his eyes in the dim candlelight and stared at the wool blanket, at a cup of chamomile tea on the nightstand near him, at various dried herbs hanging down from a ceiling of a small wooden room. You must have been very tired, my boy. You slept for a full day. That's when Sasuke looked right in front of him to notice a small, wrinkled man who stretched his dry lips in a welcoming smile. I'm sorry, where am I? In the mountains. The man looked around, seemingly unable to find a better answer. I don't think anyone ever bothered to get up here, put our village on a map, and give it a proper name. We call our village Kazuha, the place of peace and harmony. The old man reached to touch Sasuke's forehead. Sasuke instinctively went to block his hand, yet Sasuke's arms moved slower than he wanted them to, and he only managed to put the man's hand away after it rested on his forehead for a couple of seconds. Looks like you're getting better. Drink this tea, sleep some more, and you will recover in a couple of days. It would only be fair if I ask you now. Who are you? Not a cartographer, I'm guessing? I am. Sasuke realized he didn't even have an answer to that simple question. Is he a Konoha ninja? A rogue ninja? Is he a ninja at all? What kind of ninja would run away from the battlefield? What kind of ninja would choose the beauty of mountains over fairy appeal of power? It's alright if you don't know. You're still so young after all. The old man extended his hand towards Sasuke's shoulder, but didn't touch him, noticing how Sasuke shivered at the sight of her approaching hand. Your name would be enough. I'm Akitoshi's son, the head of the Kazuha village senate. I am Uchiha, Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke stretched his hand for a handshake first. Akitoshi-san smiled even more widely and shook his hand with a passion unexpected from such a fragile body. As I thought, Akitoshi mumbled. You're not from any of the near villages, judging by your accent. You must be pretty strong to reach all the way up here. Can you lift heavy things? Sure, I've some. We found a bunch of pretty serious weapons in your backpack. I'm assuming you would easily find your way with a kitchen knife. Yes? Sasuke felt too tired to even be puzzled by such questions. That's amazing! I could use a pair of hands in my pub, and my son, Seiichiro, said he needed more construction workers for his new architecture project. You can stay here as long as you help us around. Our village might be pretty small, yet it should be big enough for you to find the answers you're looking for. The room started rotating around Sasuke. As his eyes slowly closed, he was only able to nod. Rest for now. We will have plenty of time to talk later. Akitoshi quietly left the room. Sasuke barely had time to think about how weird it was that the cursed mark did not seem to bother him anymore, before falling into a deep slumber.
So this was the first part of the alternative scenario where Sasuke leaves the village to discover the life outside of the battlefield. If you want to see the second part, please let me know in the comments. I plan to have at least 2 more parts. Thank you for watching. Your feedback is very important for me because honestly I spent quite a bit of time writing the plot, recording it, and editing. So I need to know whether you actually want to see the second part of the story. So please leave a comment. Also, like and subscribe if you want to see more similar content.